So let's take a look quickly at the walk cycle. Okay, when you think of a walk cycle, don't get overwhelmed with the complexity of it. Try to break it down to main poses. Okay, we have a chart here from the Animator's Survival Kit, which is one of the books that I recommend for reference in movement and keyframing. And notice that we can break down a walk to 5 simple poses. You know, you have your contact pose, which is when the legs are kind of evenly distributing, you know, the weight. You could see it that way, and the feet are making contact. That's why it's called contact. And then you have the same on the at the end, but reverted. You see that that right leg that is highlighted in white is now highlighted in black because it's the other leg. Okay, so it's pretty much one step. And then you have your passing position, right? When one leg is holding all the weight on it, and while the other one passes, that's why it's called passing. And then you have your down, where the head is a little bit lower than everywhere else, and then your up position, where everything is a little bit higher. So, if you remember the contact and passing, that will be easier to remember, and then you add the down and up poses. Okay, in cartoon animation you could actually get away with just doing the passing position and then just letting the keys read from contact to passing, so it will be easier to think it that way. So how many frames do I make for my walk? Here's a simple chart, very simplistic. Think about it, about 1 second of animation will be 24 frames, right? Remember, think of the 24 drawings that you make for 1 second of animation. So we're going to work with this specific chart to recreate the poses. So we're going to start with our contact position here, where the legs are, you know, further apart from each other. And then we're going to create that second contact pose. And we're going to pretty much revert the feet position. Okay, and then on the last contact position is exactly the same of as the first one. So we're going to pretty much copy this one into this one on the 25th frame 25th. And what we're going to do is when we cycle it, when we repeat it, we render up to frame 24, and as it starts back to frame 1, it kind of loops and repeats the same pose, and it looks seamless as it keeps going. Okay, so let's get started with setting our initial pose here on frame 1 of our contact pose. We're going to start with setting the feet first. Okay, that way you have that as reference, and then we're going to set up the arm swing after that. Okay, so let's go to Maya. I have my scene set up with the perspective view on the right, so I went panels perspective, and then on the left I set up panels perspective. No, I went orthographic and left, new left. That's how I set them up. And the idea is that this one matches the direction of this chart. You know, says he's going from left to right on this chart. So that way you can use it as reference. And on this one here, you can select the controllers. Okay, so let's start with the feet. First of all, I know I'm gonna have later a problem with the feet, so I'm gonna select the main controller here for the spine, the one that moves up and down the body. So I'm gonna select the move tool over here and just make it go down a little bit. Notice how the knees start bending because, you know, it's lower now. So the idea is that we have a good setup, and you can always change that later, you know, to a good setup for stretching the legs without too many problems. So on the using as reference, I'm going to zoom in here with the middle mouse on the left viewport, and I have my right leg controller selected there. I'm just going to push it forward with the move tool. Okay, very simple. And go to the other one, the other control, the foot control, and move it back. Okay, that's kind of what we have on the first pose. Let's set up our timeline. Notice it ends in 24. I'm going to set it to 25th. 25, so that that last frame, it's pretty much a copy of the first one. So let's do a little bit of tweaking first. I'm gonna grab, I noticed that there were some problems here with the knee controllers. Where's the other one? It's hiding from me now. Not sure where it went. Is it down there? There you go. Yeah. So let's make sure it's farther out in front of the character so that you don't get deformation. Look at what happens with the direction of the knee, you know, if that controller is all the way back there. So going back, let me make sure that that one is like that. I'm going to go back to our feet, right? The controllers for the feet, and I'm going to rotate them. So I'm just going to come over here, rotate them a little bit just to lift them up a little bit. So and then go up. So and then now the leg is a little bit too close to the other one, so I'm going to push it back. So I like that pose. And on the other one, I'm going to raise also. You know, notice how the, you know, the feet are kind of going up slanted. So I'm going to recreate that effect the same way. Rotate, and with the controller selected, rotate it a little bit, and then move it and position it as you see fit. Okay, there, I like that pose there because it didn't lock the knee, which sometimes happens. Okay, so let's start setting the keys. Now we have the pose, the initial pose for our feet. So here on the timeline, I'm going to middle mouse so that I don't lose my selection, and press S. When you do that, you're going to see a red line there, and your attributes over here are going to highlight in red, meaning that you set a key successfully. So I'm going to middle mouse on frame 25 and press S, and then there's our keyframe highlighted in red. And I'm going to do the same for the other leg. So go to frame 1, press S, and 25, press S. Okay, make sure your keys are there. And we're doing that for, you know, 25 and 1 because they're exactly the same pose, right? Now we have a middle contact position here on frame 13 where our feet are reversed, right? Now the left foot is forward and the right foot is back. So let's recreate that one on frame 13 because that's our first step. So I'm going to middle mouse on frame 13 to have my time over there. And I'm going to pretty much move that one forward, move this one back. You can do it that way, but I would, oh, excuse me, rotate a little bit. There you go, and kind of release a little bit the lock that the knee did there for a moment. I'm going to press S to set that foot, and I'm going to go to the other foot, and I'm kind of doing the same, but that one is kind of rotated, so I'm just going to rotate it. And it actually will be kind of like slanted, right? So, and then move it up a little bit forward to set up that position, and press S to set our first key on frame 13. So let's take a look at how it looks. So far so good. You know, it looks like it's moving. The only thing that we need to now add is extra movement, right? Because the feet don't slide on the floor, now the feet kind of go up. So I'm going to set my passing position. So that's the middle post here, and I'm going to let you do the down and up later. Let's take a look first how it looks, okay, in Maya. So let's go to frame 7, and let's create this red highlighted passing position where our right leg is going to be holding most of the weight, right, or all of the way down, while the other leg goes forward, so passes forward. So let's do that on frame 7. So let's select the right leg, that one there, and let's go to frame 7, and it's okay to left click because we're going to edit that pose. So the foot should be flat on the ground at that stage. I think I moved it in more than one axis. There we go. And select the move tool and make it flat on the ground. And I'm gonna press S. Okay, and then I'm gonna make the pose for the other leg, the left leg. It's gonna be kind of hanging. No, I don't want it to move in all directions. I want it only in this direction. There, rotate, move back. Okay, and press S. Okay, so now we create kind of one step. So let's take a look how it looks. You know, it lifts one leg, while the other one is on the ground, and then it goes to this one. Okay, perfect. Let's go to 19, frame 19, and create the passing position. But now our left leg is the one that's going to be on the ground and the other one on the air. So frame 19, right here. Our left leg, the one that was passing before, now will be on the ground. So I'm going to push it down and a little bit further back. And press S, or make sure your keyframe is registered. And then the other leg is the one that is now up. So I'm going to rotate it a little bit. I don't want to rotate in all axes. There you go. Just probably like that, and move it. To create that passing position. Okay, so press S, and we go from contact pose. Let's see how it looks here. Contact pose to catching up. Perfect. Excellent. So we did the legs successfully, and now when we come back, we're going to add a few things to the up and down position, and we're going to work with the arms as well.